How was practice today? You said that last Wednesday wasn't so good.
This Wednesday was, the players didn't tell you?
No.
You didn't ask? Oh, you should have asked
You're
them.
the expert.
Well, we were about halfway through, and it was not to our standards. So we kind of audibled. We set the ball down, and we just played 1 minute drill, where the losers had ramifications, and we just sat there and just said if we're going to be nothing, we're going to be competitive, and that's the thing. We had started non-competitive, which means we still choose. We choose when to be competitive, when not to be competitive, and when I say we, it's not every player. It's not every player on one side of the ball, the other, but there's too many guys that ruin it for everybody. So we had I don't know the last time I've ever seen that, but that'll be a day. I think today'll be a day that they'll remember. I think they'll be telling future recruiting classes about today's practice.
How disappointing is that 5 weeks into the first game?
I just think it is, though.
This is seen in other teams.
Well, you just don't look when you're talking about changing a culture. You don't just put posters on the wall and do this and it just happens. I mean, this is something that is years of in the making, and it's never easy because again, human inertia is to be average and mediocre, right? That current and that gravitational pull sucks you down every day. And so it just doesn't happen where all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna come in here and bring my best every day. That is, I mean, quite literally why they call us coach, is to make sure that it happens. And then to, then to build a habit. I mean, the whole difference between the has and have-nots in college football are the ones that get established. Now you have a habit that's passed down from the older guys to the younger guys because they know the culture. The new guys come in and they absorb the culture from the older guys, from the locker room. That's all the stories we heard here, the names that are hanging from the ceiling here. They all pass it down. Well, at some point there's a disconnect with that, and then when there's disconnect, it has to be rebuilt, and that just doesn't happen.
Maybe it's because you have an extra week, and like you're saying, human nature with the kids, they just know you're not playing this week.
Right, but you see how the mind works, though? Well, maybe it's just Central Michigan. Maybe we scored the first drive really easily. I mean, and that's the whole point. It doesn't matter. It's just work, and you are fighting the natural instinct of your brain. The brain's always trying to give you a reason to not perform your best, always. And that's why some people win and some people lose. So the idea of how to fight that instinct and saying, okay, I know that we don't have a game this week. It doesn't matter. There's a ball. We're going to snap it. It demands my best for 4 to 6 seconds. And then that's it. And then if it happens again, it happens again.
I mean, is this eventually something you'd like to see the players take care of themselves? The leaders say,
That's what I told them. That's what I told them after practice. I said, those of you that came here with a competitive spirit today, you could feel it because the players always know. I said, my suggestion to you would be for you all to fix it because we're going to fix it as coaches. You probably like your solution better than you like our solution. But that's no different than on game day. That's no different than seeing guys at the hotel. The players always know the vibe and the pulse of the locker room. So yes, they have asked for it. The players have always said, we want to be able to police ourselves more. Well, guess what? Here's your badge.
Is the next step as a coach benching these guys more or sending sort of that kind of message where playing time is curtailed?
Well, there's no doubt that you tie in playing time to competitiveness. Mm-hmm. I think that is exactly true. I mean, you're trying to play your most competitive guys, and then you want to try to recruit the most talented competitive guys that you can find. But you don't want to go to battle with guys that are non-competitive. And for the most part, again, I'm going to say this. I mean, our guys, we don't have non-competitive guys. Our guys are competing. The difference is how often are we competing and are we choosing at certain times? And that's where we're trying to separate those, into different classes.
Is that ultimately the disease you were talking about?
That's part of it, yeah. That's exactly part of it, and that's, do we, it's very, very hard in college football. Now, I want to make sure this is clear. This is not something that's mutually exclusive to the Miami Hurricanes. It's very hard to be the same team every week. I mean, we see that like week in and week out. So what we're asking, again, is not something that's just, super easy, just happens.
Manny, Trevon Hill, we talked to him for the first time today. It's interesting that he played at Virginia Tech.
Sure.
Can he help in any way? And also, what's he been like in his situation? And he said he just can't believe how badly he wants to play this week.
No, I'm sure it's an important game for him. But to me, what I've enjoyed about him is just his the way he works. he's gotten better every week because he's kind of had to play himself back into shape starting in training camp because he missed some time in the summer. But he's been eager to learn, eager to work. He's been a guy that and I think his production has increased every week through the first 4 games of the season.
I mean, recruiting-wise, do you expect almost the whole class to sign early this year versus like past years?
I don't know. I don't know the numbers exactly, but for whatever reason, it does seem like we have a large percentage of guys that are majors, which is big for us because I think right now we have
Not just enroll early. I mean, sign in December.
well both.
Okay.
But we had of the ones that came, we had a decent percentage that were December signings a year ago. But this class, for whatever reason, has a lot of guys that can mid-year enroll, which, like I said, with us having so few seniors, but we only have, I think we're only playing with 76 scholarship players right now, or something. 70, it's mid-70s. I don't know what exactly it is. So we need some fresh reinforcements quickly.
Manny, I know you said Zach McLeod is too important to this team to redshirt or consider redshirt this season. He didn't play on Saturday. Have there been any second thoughts?
No, well, that decisions like that, and especially with a guy like Zach, what I said is still true. He is so important to us, but that was something that he came to us with during that week, and said, well, if there's a possibility, if he was going to get limited snaps on defense and just play on special teams. So what we have with Zach is we have another game where he can play. It's a very similar situation to what we did a year ago with B.J. Jennings and Corey Gaynor. If something were to happen catastrophically, where we would need him for the long term, he'll be ready to go for the team. But if not, if something happens, we're just in a one game situation where he needs to finish a game, he can play, and we know we've got that game to play with. But otherwise, it'd be amazing if we could save him for the bowl, let him play in the bowl, and then let him go have next season.
In hindsight, would you have liked to have known that sooner to give you more games possibly?
No, because it really comes down to, well, number one, it comes down to the young man's wishes, because we weren't going to force him to do something he didn't want to do, and that's when it presented itself to us. And then also, I think you got to get a couple games in to really figure out what the rotation is going to be, and where it all fits in. So, I think, like most problems, they occur when they occur, and they can only be solved when they need to be solved.
Thanks, everybody. How'd Nesta look for you today?
He's been really good. He's run around, got into some team periods today, so good shot in the arm to our defense to have him back. Thank you all, Ken.